Hi, kangaroos. We're back. It is Arctic and Polar Week this week, so you're going to check out the habitats of animals that live at the poles of our Earth, which are at the very top of the globe and at the very bottom. Um, the Arctic is the top of the globe, and the Antarctic or Antarctica is on the bottom. It's one of those continents that in fact does not have people that live there year round. There are scientists that go there nowadays to work and to study animals and study the environment. However, there are no cities, nobody lives there permanently. In the Arctic, however, there are some civilizations and there are some people that have made that their home for sure. But as you go up from the equator is that line around the middle of the globe. Check it out if you have one, you'll see it. As you go up from that, people are more populated kind of right above and below the equator. And then as you go up to the top of the poles, it becomes harder to live because it is colder. And we need to do special adaptations to keep ourselves warm so you see less people in those areas. But there are a lot of cool animals, and that's what we're going to look at today and for the rest of the week. So you'll see that I attached the cubby tags, the animal cubby tags. You can run through those and check out some of the animals right off the bat. And then just go through and explore the activities we have for you. For this week, you'll have a chance to work on a mini book where you can put together a little book reviewing some of the key Arctic animals, and it helps you model words and simple sentences that way. Parents, look out for an additional language arts and journaling email. Should be ready tomorrow. And then also look out for additional mathematics activities in another email that will come. And that should be the bulk of everything we have for you, along with the daily lesson plans that you will get. And I will try to do one of these little videos just summarizing what we're doing today. So, our language arts activity is to explore the state of Alaska. You're going to have a coloring page you can use. I have a video on the ABCs of Alaska, which is a cool resource I found when I went to Alaska. So you'll also see some pictures, some photos from my trip to Alaska with Mr. Collin. Mr. Collin actually used to live there when he was stationed there for the Army. So we spent a lot of time hanging out there. Or he spent a lot of time hanging out there. I went for one trip, but I went in the winter, so you'll see a lot of snow. It was tons of fun. For our cognitive development today, you're going to practice matching very carefully. There's a bunch of mittens I have for you. And it's harder than you think because the differences between the mittens are pretty subtle. So you have to look carefully, make sure you found the right match. You can also print out a bunch of the individual mittens, cut them up, paste them, make cool patterns. You can do ABA, you could do ABBA, AABBA, ABC, ABBC. There's lots of patterns you can do. So explore those, enjoy that. Our science and nature studies today is really cool. You're going to try to explore the adaptations of polar animals. Polar animals obviously have to be where it is very cold. And if we were to be out there in the very cold, we would need hats, gloves, boots, lots of thick coats, lots of warm stuff. We're not made to be out there. But you see the Arctic animals and they don't have any of that because they don't need it. They have a special layer of fat. And fat, I always tell people, it's like check your stomach and pinch the extra skin by your stomach and you'll see just a little bit of the layer of fat. Some of it's in our cheeks too, or like on our arm. It's sort of those gushy parts of our body. They have that and it can be up to 4 inches thick, so it could be pretty big. And sometimes that's called blubber. Often for whales it's called blubber for sure. And what's really cool about that is it keeps their bodies warm. It adds insulation, we call it. So when they have all that fat on them, if they were to be out there in the snow and the ice or in the water where it's really cold and there's a lot of ice, it helps keep them warm. So you can try a very fun experiment where you do a bucket and ice and you make yourselves blubber gloves using Crisco, which we used to cook with. And you can see how long you can hold your bare hand in the water compared to how long you can hold your blubber hand in the water. It's going to be a lot better with the blubber hand. We also have a chance to work on a polar bear arts and crafts. I'll send you a shape of a polar bear, and I would try to cut it out on something harder like cardstock or cardboard. If you have a laminator, you can laminate it. That's how we do it. And you can trace the outsides of these polar bears and explore the shapes of polar bears freely. You can use paint, you can use markers. Go to town. It'll be fun. We have movement and music song today. One of Miss Kelsey's favorites by the wonderful Rafi. It is called Baby Beluga, and I'm sure you might have heard it before. Check it out. There's the Baby Beluga book, and there's also just Rafi singing Baby Beluga himself. He's the original Mr. Andy. Rafi is very cool. So enjoy that. Your social science today will be exploring Spanish words for the Arctic animals. You can find a complete pack on that. Once you've reviewed some of those words, you can try to use them with some simple worksheets that are also there. For motor skills, you're going to have Cosmic Kids Joy Bob, the polar bear. Cosmic Kids, if you've been using this, it's fantastic. You guys always do such a great job with it. Joy Bob, the polar bear, will be an awesome yoga story for the polar world. So I hope you enjoy that one too. And the very last one, this is really cool. If you go to pbskids.com and you find Molly of Denali. Denali is, it's definitely a park in Alaska, if not a town and or a mountain. Might be all three of those things. Molly of Denali, she lives in Alaska. She is maybe Inuit. I will have to research that further. Miss Kelsey clearly needs to also play this game so I can learn more about her and her experience living in Alaska. There'll be some cool games. You can walk around her town. You can learn more about Alaska using that particular game. So I hope you enjoy all these things. You've got an excellent day ahead of you. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you have fun.